Hello, people of the interwebs. Wayne Hackman here, aka Whackstar. Electricity. We love it until it's not there, and then all hell breaks loose. I'm going to explore a simple way where you can keep some of your key electrical items alive in a power blackout. An interesting one, this one. Let's go find out. Those of you who have been following the channel for a while will know that I like experimenting with electrical gadgets, and I also like to experiment with solar. I put a solar system in my car and it does basic things like boil a kettle of water, and now enables me to charge laptops and recharge things beautifully, and it's been working really well for quite some time. However, in Kenya, electrical stability has become a bit of a problem. Now, I'm fortunate. I bought a generator a number of years back, and it is a life changer in blackouts. But I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, what can we do to keep our electricity live in blackouts? Now, I was thinking to myself, what are the key items that most people need in a blackout? Well, they want to be entertained, so keep a TV and a laptop active. They perhaps want to keep their internet router active and maybe have a little bit of electrical light just to tie them over until the power comes back on. And so I thought, well, can I put together, out of some things that I can find in the local town, a very simple system that can fulfill all three things for a few hours while you wait for the local electricity supply to be restored. So all of these items have been sourced within 5 kilometers of where I live, and I have picked all of this up for around $150. And this is the base of your keep the electricity alive systems. So what have we got? Well, we've got an inverter. This one is 600 watt stable, 600 watt peak, 300 watt stable, should handle a reasonable size LCD TV. Some cables that came with it. This is a 80 amp hour solar lead acid battery. We've got a 5-way gang power extension cable, which I will shorten down, but hopefully will enable you to connect your router, your internet router, your TV, maybe a laptop, and a low voltage light, and of course a solar charge controller if you want to be able to take this outside and charge it during the day. Now, what's great about this 100 watt solar panel that I've also got, it gives you a little bit of a wiring diagram of exactly what I want to do, but in a portable package. Let me put it all together and show you what it looks like when I've stuck it all together. I've got a little idea of how I want to do this. Important disclaimer here. Working with electricity at any voltage can be dangerous. So if you choose to replicate what I'm doing, you do this completely at your own risk. And please be safe. A electric shock at a large current can at the very least hurt you, and at the very worst kill you. So please be safe when playing around with electrics at any voltage. So I was thinking about getting some really strong double-sided tape, securing the extension cable or the 5-gang plug here, the solar charge controller here. You can still pick up the battery quite easily here with everything attached. But the bulky part of the system is the inverter. I kind of thought that maybe somehow I could attach it to the side of the battery here. Now, you have to be careful with lead acid batteries, although this is a sealed lead acid battery, for which I have chosen for the very reason of things not being spilt. I cannot obviously drill anything into the plastic, for I will expose the internal workings, and then we'll have acid spilling everywhere, which is not a good option. So I'm going to experiment with sticking this down with some really strong double-sided tape, and then we can see if we can make a safe wiring system with somehow isolating these terminals so stuff doesn't get shorted. So the tape I've used is this Gorilla double-sided tape, and I've just pretty much stuck everything in place provisionally to see if it works, and it's actually pretty solid. I am thinking of other ways of just ensuring that things don't fall off, but so far so good. And of course, it's heavy, but it's also portable, and so in theory, if I wire all of that together, you've got yourself a little system that will provide electricity to this gang here. Now this is a 300 watt inverter, but I'm also thinking that I might be able to put a 1000 watt inverter. I've got the same battery in my car. It's got a 3000 watt inverter on it, and it works quite comfortably with this. So you can upscale the inverter to suit your requirements. I'm pretty sure that this will handle a laptop charging. It should do a low voltage bulb. It should very easily run an internet router, and I think it will run a TV, but if it doesn't run a TV, you can certainly have your internet connected to your laptop, and you can continue enjoying entertainment while you wait for the power to be restored. So what I've done is the existing power cables that have been shipped with the inverter, I have wired into the power outputs of the solar charge controller. Now what's lovely about this solar charge controller is that you can switch the power output on and off from here, but also set this charge controller to switch the power off at a certain voltage. So we don't want the lead acid battery to be completely depleted, and we also can set it to turn itself back on when the voltage gets to a certain level in charging. So phase one, inverter into the power out of the solar charge controller. After clipping the cable of the inverter, what I've done is I've taken the other end, which have these nice power clips on it, which you can clip to any battery, run them into the battery section of the inverter, and all being well, if I now attach this to the positive and to the negative, this solar charge controller should spring to life. There you go. So 2.4 volts, and actually you can hear that even the inverter has come on. It's switched on, which is a good sign. We'll switch that off, which is great. And we can see that actually if we switch it back on again, you can actually control the inverter from here as well. So we've already got a system that can power one electrical outlet, but I want to add a few more electrical sockets. So I've shortened the extension cable so we don't have massive wires traipsing around, and in theory this is the initial layout of the device. Now if this works, what I'm going to do is I'll wire this, screw this onto the terminal, but you can see the light is on, there it is, and in theory that this is ready to deliver some power. Now before I test this out, I do have a charger here. And this is going to charge this up to full capacity, and then I'm going to do a test on it to see how long it will last. So I'm just charging this up to full capacity, and then we will do a real world test. So this is the solar panel that they have sent me. I asked for 100 watts, but actually this is a lot bigger than I had anticipated for an emergency solar system. So I'll go with this today. What I like about this is that it actually has already wired the ends with these crocodile clips on. I'm going to actually change this for a different type of connector, and I'll show you in a minute. But out of the box, it theoretically could be connected to a battery. Well, when I say theoretically, at peak output, it will give 100 watts at 18 volts. So if a lead acid battery is completely depleted, it will slowly bring the voltage up. However, you do not want it to go above about 14 and a half volts. Otherwise, you'll start to cook the battery, and that will drastically reduce the life of the battery. That's why you use the solar control unit that I've put on to the device that I'm building. So this is really useful. It's already given me wires. So I'm going to change the end of this and change the adapter into the solar charge controller. And then this can very easily be put outside in direct sunlight along with your portable battery system and use sunlight to charge. So I bought these nice little, I think they're called Anderson connectors. And basically it has a male and a female connector, and you can connect them together. And this is my idea for having a quick release for the solar panel. So here is the first prototype. I've put it all together in the hope that it might work. And you can see that that connector is also to the solar panel, although it's not charging it for obvious reasons, that it's in the evening. And I'm going to plug now in a television, and you see the Apple TV, the router behind it, and also the lamp up there, to see if it can handle the load of that. And then let's see, the aim is that we can run this for 2 to 3 hours, my hope, so that you can watch a movie. Most power cuts here in Kenya last around an hour, hour and a half. So this could be hopefully enough juice in this battery to run this so you can watch a movie, have some light, and keep the internet active. So let's give it a go. So here is everything set up, ready to go. I haven't actually plugged all the sockets in yet, but when I power up the inverter, I'm going to do the electric light first, followed by the router, and then I'm going to do, I believe, the Apple TV once the router's, and then finally the TV. And I'll add them in that order because from my calculation, their draw is from 8 watts up to maybe 100 watts. So this inverter should be able to handle all of this, plus any extra peak demand. The only thing to do now is to test it. So to switch this on, we press the initiate power button, and you can see that the power light bulb has come on. And then we switch the inverter on, and you can hear it coming on. Power's come on there. So phase 1, here we go. We will initiate the lights. So plug that in. Light is on, no trouble at all. Okay, so light is done. So let's now initiate the router. Okay, now that will take a little bit of time to boot up. It's not my primary router, otherwise my family would kill me for completely killing the internet, but it is the router that is designed for this particular setup here. So as that's booting up, we'll then add the Apple TV. So it's plugged that in, and you can see the Apple TV is flashing, which is fantastic, which means that that is powering up and coming on. And then finally, we will plug in the TV. And the TV, okay, the power light of the TV's come on, but of course that's in standby mode. So let me go and get the Apple TV remote, switch that on. Here we go, power on. Good, smart TV has come on. It's very exciting. So what we've got now is the Apple TV, a light, and also the router, all connected and working. So this is a very good sign. You can even see there, look, the internet is on and working. It's great. Let's just go down and, I don't know if it's a speed test, here we go. There we we go. This is my, it's connecting. Now this is all running off that device there. Now for how long, I don't know. So I'm gonna just watch a little bit of TV. The time is about 20 past 9 at night now. I'm gonna just happily use away and just give us a kind of idea of how long that this might last. So it's been running for just over an hour, and the light and the TV, Apple TV and the router are running absolutely fine. So I'm quite encouraged so far on the early stages of this testing process. So, to give you an example of the light that it gives off in a room when the blackout is, that this is a perfectly usable room, and you know, I'm enjoying some television. So tomorrow I'm going to put it outside, and I am going to charge it with the solar panel, and that's kind of the last piece of the puzzle. And if it all works, then you've got yourself something that gives you 240 volts for your big appliance, also charges some USB devices, and you've got yourself a backup system that can be fully charged via solar and to be used in those blackouts. This is all looking very promising. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I must admit, I used it for 2 hours last night and it didn't run out. And it went down to about 12.4 volts. It's come up a little bit, obviously, because nothing's been on it. And so it's beautiful sunshine. I am going to plug it in. Now, can I do this with one hand? And we should see that beautiful sunshine turn into electricity. So I plugged it into here like this. Can I do it without? There we go. And there we go. It's charging. So I'm going to go away for a few hours, come back. This is a 100-watt panel. I think it's a little bit big for this system, but I think you get the point. Gathering all that sweet electricity for me to use again tonight if there is another blackout. I've just come back from work just to see how things are going, and I'm really pleased with what I've created. It shows that within 5 kilometers of where I live in Kenya, I can find all the bits and pieces that I need to build a backup power system that can keep some of the essentials on in your home during a blackout. What have we learned? Well, we've learned lots of things that actually, with not too much technical know-how, you can put something together. There is a disclaimer, okay? All of this stuff has come out of shops in Molo, which is my nearest town, and it is a bit cheap and a bit Chinesey, but when you compare it to its competitors, something like Anker or Jackery, just to name a few, they build systems, similar systems, for 2, if not 3 times the price of what I've built here. And so, yes, you are buying into their research and development. Yes, you're probably buying components that maybe are a little bit more reliable, but all of that is modular. If one part fails, I can easily just peel off the other elements that are working and put a new bit in. It is very, very portable, although I might look at smaller solar panels should you want to take this camping with you and stuff like that. The disclaimer is this: as soon as you start fooling around with electricity, it can be dangerous. So anything that you've seen me do in this video, you do at your own risk. And I think a little bit of thought and modification, I might add a bit more fusing in there, although all the key elements are fused on this. I think that this is something that the basic DIY enthusiast can put together and have something that can fare you through those 2 to 3 hour blackouts quite easily, particularly at night. And I want to encourage you too to have a look at it yourself. As always, thanks for watching. Rate and subscribe to all of the things that online people do, and I look forward to catching you in the next Whackstar video. Bye.